Hello and welcome to Above the Curve. I'm your host, Andrew Shrout. I'm here with Brad Nelson.
Hello, everyone.
And a new face, at least for me, since my tenure began here at Above the Curve. I'm here with Brian Brown-Duin.
Also known as Brian Brown doing it better than Todd Anderson.
I guess they do call me the BBDIBTTA.
They do. In certain circles, they do.
Many circles.
BBD, ladies and gentlemen. Filling in for Todd Anderson, who got lost in Alabama somewhere on the way back from the Pro Tour.
So, Brad, would that make him a lost boy?
You all right there, Brad?
No, I'm good. I'm good. I love the name. It's a great name.
All right.
It is a great name.
It is a great name. Yeah. Moving on. We had a big weekend this past weekend. Of course, we had Pro Tour Journey into Nix. We had the first Star City Games state championship. So let's get right to it. Let's get to the winner's circle. Pro Tour Journey into Nix was taken down by Hall of Famer, Star City Games premium rider and innovator, Patrick Chapin.
Yeah, it was super impressive to see him take this down. And one of the biggest things that I loved about him winning this tournament was that he joins the ranks of so few that have won a Pro Tour after being inducted into the Hall of Fame. So, like, it took a while to get him in the Hall of Fame, and then he still is just showing how good he is at this game.
I mean, it's even more impressive considering he was playing a deck that curved Fleecemane Lion into Elspeth. So, yeah.
That's fair. Yeah, and notably, this is now the second block-constructed Pro Tour in a row won by Watchwolf. Craig Wesco
This
took it
just
down last
in,
year
yeah.
with Call of Conquest.
This just in. 3-3s for 2 men are good and block constructed.
Sure.
Wow.
Three threes for 2.
Yeah, but anyway, congratulations to Chapin once again for taking this down. But there were also 52 other champions this last weekend in the SCG states, and I'd like you to list all of them, Charlotte. That's your job.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
All of them, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Well, it just so happens that I have composed a little ditty in Animaniacs fashion to help me remember them. Well, CVM and Josh Travis, Matt Farek and Greg Orange,
And
48 other champions. Yeah. Yeah, in all seriousness, yes, there were 52 state champions this weekend, and unfortunately, we do not have time in this segment to congratulate them all individually, but congratulations to them all.
But here's some quick credits.
Yeah, but here's a couple. Yeah. It just happens that Josh Ravitz and Greg Orange kind of. If you ever wondered what rhymes with orange, it's Josh Ravitz. It turns out.
It makes sense. You know what also rhymes with Josh?
What's that?
Josh Watts,
Right
which was my favorite list from states. He won Texas, and he was playing a super innovative Naya token strategy, which it's oddly enough he has been like messaging me or commenting about his deck for like the last month and a half, and because of the Pro Tour and how addicted I was to Brave Naya, I didn't ignore it, but I didn't invest in it. And now after he won states, and I played Perforos and Elspeth and Revel of the Fallen God in block, I'm gonna start using Perforos as a non-devotion player. So props to him playing his deck that he's been piloting forever and continuously doing well. I think this might be the next deck for the format, and I'm probably going to start doing a lot of content about it.
All right.
And you know what else rhymes with Texas states is Chris Van Meter. And Chris Van Meter won West Virginia states. He's a born and bred West Virginian with his Jund midrange, Jund Monsters deck. And that's a deck that CVM and I have both been playing for a while now. We've both said numerous times we think it's the best deck in the format, and CVM really put it to him last weekend by proving that, yeah, it's still really good. So yeah, if you're looking to play more Magic, and you can do a lot worse than jamming Polukranos into Stormbreath Dragon into, I don't know, Fleecemane Lion? No, okay. Elspeth? No. But
do you know what also is really good? Participating in the state you live in.
that is pretty sweet. Yeah.
I want to put an asterisk by CVM's name for going and traveling out of his state to play in his states. That's just not cool, bro.
I mean,
you win your states.
Yeah.
I am not a state champion in my own state of North Dakota, and I will never play in a non-North Dakota states. I might fly back just to win that trophy.
It's
Well, I
technically
mean-
legal, but it does violate state championship etiquette, we think.
They both have Virginia in the name, and nobody said West Virginia was actually a real state anyway. So, yeah.
Jeez.
Them fighting words, buddy.
Yeah.
The border's pretty close to here. I'm just
House
gonna
of
let you
Flying
know that.
Daggers over here. So the two of you guys did not participate in the state championships
No,
this weekend.
We did not.
We had to play a tournament that was, a little bit below.
Sure, yeah, a little less prestige.
Yes.
but-
Pro Tour.
Yeah. So you guys were at Pro Tour Journey into Nix. So let's talk a little bit about your preparation for that in the Soapbox. 2 weeks ago, BBD, you weren't even qualified for this Pro Tour.
Right.
So, like any good story, your journey into Nix begins with a journey into Minneapolis.
Yeah, the Minneapolis-St. Paul metropolitan area is just a great place to start any great adventure. Like, it's just the hub of adventures. But
Which is funny because when I lived in North Dakota, it was the hub of all my adventures. So
ooh,
If you were
does
flying
work.
anywhere, had to go through Minneapolis.
looks like
So-
the proof's in the pudding.
Yeah, so the level 1, stage 1 of any Pro Tour video game, Minneapolis.
Yep.
Exactly.
Minneapolis Airport, it turns out.
It's a pretty bad airport, but I will just say, yeah, week before the Pro Tour, I wasn't even qualified. The Wednesday before Grand Prix Minneapolis, I bought a plane ticket. The Thursday night, I posted on Facebook to find a place to stay, and I didn't get in until after midnight on Friday night. So for me, I basically had to top 8 or bust this tournament. The only way I could qualify for the Pro Tour was exactly getting a top 8, which would give me enough points to hit silver, which would give me an immediate qualification. So kind of a last-minute desperado move, but it managed to work out. At one point in the tournament, I was 5-2, and 8 rounds later, I was 13-2, and
Not bad.
ended up making the top 8. So when I left for Minneapolis, Brad was like, "You do your part, and I'll do my part. You top 8 this event, and I'll have a block constructed deck for you." I top 8'd the event, and
Bradley.
Oddly enough, during the middle of the GP, we saw BBD stumble, and I actually thought he was out of it. That's very comparable to our Pro Tour testing.
Yes,
No, what was actually funny is on Saturday, I was pretty much locked into a deck. While BBD was sitting there at 7-2 going into Sunday, I was pretty much locked on Bug Control, the deck that, oddly enough, Pantheon and Channel Fireball both played, the 2 super teams. And so we had pretty much the same exact deck, minus a couple cards. And then by Sunday, we actually tested it against a lot of strategies that we thought people might play that would be good against it, and it was terrible. So by the time that BBD got back, we just took our deck and just threw it in the trash. And we had nothing by Monday morning. But BBD came back. I ended up finding a Naya deck I really liked, and I was just locked into Naya because we only had a couple days, and I was just like, our testing proved that Xenagos on the play was very good. So, and Elspeth obviously was good. So we just went with it and tried to find the best strategy against the black mid-range decks, which are the bane of all the Naya decks' existence because they have all the removal spells. But I'm not gonna lie, we freaked out a little before the tournament and made our deck a little bit worse than it could have been. But other than that, I think our deck was only 4 or 5 cards different than what I would have played again.
yeah, I basically knew I wanted to play Xenaghost the Reveler. I tried to build a rug deck. It sucked, but Xenaghost was amazing. And so when the Naya deck was suggested, I was like, yeah, I'm just going to lock in. I don't even know what's in the deck. It has Xenaghost, so I'm just going to play it.
Yeah, and your Xenaghost dies a lot of times, but that's where the satyrs get really angry from the flavor. Once Xenaghost dies, we have something else, which we call
Sweet 16.
The Sweet 16 we call Gruul Ultimatum.
Yeah.
Which is Revel of the Fallen God.
Rebel without a cause, I like to call it.
Revel without a cause. He also wanted to call our team Revel without a cause, which I
Yeah.
thought would give away a little bit too much information.
I wanted to call our team the deck
Spoilers.
list. I actually wanted just the 75 cards in our deck. That's what I wanted our team name to be.
And then they're like, BBD from team
4 Sylvan Chariots.
6
Yeah.
forests, 5 mountains, 3.
Mana Confluence, yeah.
But no, we actually had a great sideboard plan against a lot of the big known decks, which was Perforos and Revel without a cause, where you could just Sweet 16 them. We called it Happy Birthday and them. We had a lot of different names for a lot of things. I think that we won on the pun department at this tournament, but we all just finished top 50
Yeah.
in the actual competition.
Consolation prize based on excessive punnage, it sounds
Yes.
like.
At least it wasn't a constellation prize.
I feel like most of the decks of that Pro Tour
That
were
was not a
playing
top
for the
50 pun.
Constellation
Yeah.
prize. Yeah. We'll work on the puns. You're all punned out after
All right,
the Pro
yeah,
Tour, probably.
yeah.
So you guys went into the Pro Tour, felt prepared, liked your deck, and then it was time to battle. You got to the Pro Tour, and it was time to enter the red zone.
Segways.
You guys made it to the Pro Tour. You sat down for round 1. You shuffled up.
Some of us might have shuffled a little bit more than others because I mulliganed a lot.
Oof.
I mean,
the
I
rocky
also
start.
I also
Oh, yeah.
shuffled a lot too, but
Yeah, your opponent's deck because he was mulliganing a lot.
that also I like
Yeah.
to fully randomize. So
Sure, yeah.
Okay, Brian,
As
Boy
I kept
Scout Brown
7,
doing,
yeah.
ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, but yeah, I mean, I got to the Pro Tour. My draft didn't go as well as planned. I thought it was in the right colors, but just how the draft played out wasn't great for me. So I had a really dirtily deck. Oddly enough, the only card I beat in the limited format was Dictate of Heliod. And no, I did not kill it. So like it was kind of an odd draft. Started off 1-3 or 1-2. Thought I was going to, get off to a good start in Constructed, and I just prefaced the story with start off 1-3. So yeah, my tournament was not going great, but everyone on my team did not have a loss at all.
yeah, so my draft went a little bit better. I basically came in planning to force red-white because it is the only archetype I know how to draft. And
Wait, that's not true. That's not true.
It's not true?
You also know how to draft white-red.
That's right. I can also draft white-red. So it's either 10 plains, 6 mountains, or vice versa. But yeah, I jumped in like hoping to draft red-white, and I first picked a Satyr Hoplite, and then I second picked a Satyr Hoplite, and then I fourth and fifth picked Satyr Hoplite. So I basically had a constructed deck after the first pack of Journey into Nyx. So things went pretty well for me. I mean,
here's the thing. Some people call it almost a constructed deck. Other people call it 4 1/1s for one.
True. That's where the 3 Dragon Mantles in Pack 3 came into play. So things went pretty well for me in this draft. And then I had to play, a Hall of Famer and 2 World Champions, and managed to win against all of them. So.
Again, I'm going to have to interject because it was a Hall of Famer, a World Champion, and a Players Championship champion.
Players Championship champion.
Yeah,
I'm
which is
sorry.
also a World Champion.
Yeah, so.
Not impressed.
Yeah. All right. Well, I just got shot down. My story sucks now, but no, it was kind of like a murderer's row in my first draft pod, and like my deck was just so good, and I got very lucky, so I started out 3-0. But
Yep. And yeah, I mean, after the draft, we had 3 3-0s out of the 6 of us on the team. And then as the day went on, I started picking up some wins. I started getting the momentum, and I realized that the gods of Magic were not going to, let me off as easy as just not making day 2. They're in fact going to let me win just enough rounds to think that I might hit platinum, because if I got top 16 this tournament, I needed 1 more pro point this season to hit platinum, which would have been, fairly tangible with I only have 4 GP finishes, so I can go to every GP to just make 1 top 64. But no, the gods were going to give me just enough wins to make sure that last loss would be as painful as humanly possible, which it was.
sounds like exactly what a god would do. That's actually yes. This story is realistic.
Yeah, and that's why Xenagos reveled so much, because of how punishing the gods were.
Bradley over here complaining about a top 50 Pro Tour performance.
I mean, sure. I mean,
I'm
King
excited
Midas,
about top 50. I don't know about you.
No, I was. I mean, King Midas did give me, the golden touch, and now I will be here for a whole nother year playing Pro Tours.
gold.
I don't have to stress about it by making sure that I have to top 8 this standard Grand Prix to make sure I can play in the next Pro Tour, which in fact, I have top 8'd 4 standard Grand Prix, and that's the only reason I stay on the Pro Tour at all, which is, kind of cool, but also pretty bad.
Actually, kind of how I'm on the Pro Tour too. So,
yeah, just Grand Prix.
Yep.
When you get to the Pro Tour, you put up top 50s. That's sweet. You guys both made the top 50, as did 3 of your 4 teammates, it turns out.
No, 4 of our 6 teammates.
Okay. One of them top 16.
Yes.
Oh, sure.
Michael
we got-
Majors top 16.
Okay.
Yep.
So a pretty solid, consistent performance from the Lost Boys.
Yep. Team the
All
Lost
right,
Boys.
all right. So, the week before the Pro Tour, Todd and I were talking about branding, and Todd wanted to brand us as a team, and I personally, because at the Pro Tour, there's all these teams, these super teams, these not as super teams, and there's storylines, and every single person knows which team everyone's on. They all wear the same clothes, or we just know who the super teams are. I wanted to actually go in with us not being a team, at least from the outside perspective, so that when somebody plays one of my teammates, they don't know what I'm playing, and vice versa. And I like this idea. Well, Todd didn't like this idea. He's like, I want to be a team, and I want to be the Lost Boys. And I just understood that if you don't know what the Lost Boys is, which I don't, it just sounds like a bunch of people that are disorganized and just literally lost.
I think it
perfect.
sounds like guys fighting vampires.
Does it?
That is,
Yeah,
that
that's
is
what
actually what it is.
yeah,
I think in the Lost Boys are the vampires, though, aren't they?
Are they? I've
Maybe.
never seen it.
so. Yeah,
it's
like,
been a
we
while
don't
since I've
even
seen
know.
it. But no, the name's perfect because you guys are actually small children that can't find your way, right?
It's actually
I am an
correct.
adult.
We're small children. Yeah.
No, but so he wanted that, and he's like, well, what's a better team name? And I'm like, I don't have one yet. So he just went along and branded us anyway as the Lost Boys, which, sure, I wasn't happy about it. But then 2 days before the tournament, I realized what a good team name would have been. But it would have only worked if we did really well in the tournament, which would have been the Kingslayers. So next Pro Tour, we're either the Kingslayers or Team versus Videos.
See, I like the Kingslayers, but I also like the Jaime Lannisters. That's also a team name. And if we were the Kingslayers and I won the Pro Tour, I would have cut off my arm, just to fully represent the Kingslayers.
This is what this means to me.
Yeah. But yeah, speaking of the Lost Boys, Brad wasn't too happy with the team name, so it fell onto me to just dagger him about it at every possible opportunity. I wanted to reference the fact that we were indeed the Lost Boys. And the best dagger came at the tournament itself when a guy came up and introduced himself to us, was talking to us, told us how much he loved like all the stuff we do, and then he finished it off with, could I get a pic with the Lost Boys? Yes. He wanted to get a picture taken with the Lost Boys, so Todd and I were like, yeah, absolutely, let's get a Lost Boys pic. What do you think about that, Brad? You want to get a Lost Boys pic?
I couldn't answer because I was like, my mouth was still clenched. I was of anger.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we did take that Lost Boys picture.
We
though.
did take it. BBD rested his head on my shoulders.
Yep.
And it was great. But then I guess we continued along playing Magic, and
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie, I really hated the Lost Boys, and now I'm even getting angry in here. I wish Todd was here so I could yell at him.
I only liked
he will
the
be
team.
back.
Yes.
The only reason I like the name is because Brad hated it. But,
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's fair. Yeah, Todd, he's out this week. He will be back next week. I'm sure he will defend his choice of the Lost Boys. But the Lost Boys, the Kingslayers, the Lannister, whatever you guys want to call
The
yourselves.
team versus videos
Yeah.
is now my favorite.
Your guys' team, in preparation for this Pro Tour, as you alluded to earlier, you guys figured out that the two of you had some strong differing opinions about how to draft this limited format.
Yeah, see,
Yep.
he thought that he wanted to win all the rounds, and I just wanted to give some of them away and just
Sure.
be generous.
All right. Well, we have one last segment for you guys. We're going to crack a pack. It's time for My Pack, Your Pick. Welcome to My Pack, Your Pick, where we bust open this. I don't have a pack.
That's because I stole your pack, because I like opening them.
Fine.
And welcome to the show. I always took it from Glenn, too. I just like opening my pack. But let's just see what card I'm going to take and what Seder Hoplite BBD is going to take.
Yeah, if there's a Seder
So-
Hoplite in the pack, we can just ignore the other 13.
All right, so like always, go to the rare. Dragons used to be so much better than they are now. Oh wow, this might actually just be a Seder Hoplite.
Ooh, yeah, I see a Seder Hoplite.
All right, well, oddly enough, this pack doesn't have a good uncommon or rare. I don't really like the red cards at all. Riddle Lightning is something some people will play with, but I'll never touch it. The Riptide Chimera is not what Esperzoa was a couple years back. Riptide
Yeah.
is just not that good of a card. It's all about putting permanents on the board in this format. So I actually narrow this pick down to 5, actually only 4 defendable cards. I think Seder Hoplite, Oakheart Dryads, Grim Guardian, and Stonewise Fortifier are the only real picks. Maybe Aerial Formation as a 5th pick.
Yeah, I mean, I see one pick.
Seder Hoplite?
I see a Seder Hoplite, which I honestly would just snap first pick that over almost any card in this format.
Well, since we've heard that, I don't think we can ever do a My Pack Your Pick with BBD in the room again.
Maybe not. Maybe not.
or at least we just have to say
Different
"All
draft
right,
format, maybe,
Let's just say
yeah.
it's 13 playables. What would you take now?
I mean, wow, this pack is real bad without that Seder Hoplite. I think I'd have to take either the Trailblazer or the Stonewise Fortifier, just to fortify myself into the white-red.
All right. Well,
Okay.
for argument's sake, I actually really like Oakheart Dryads a lot. I like Fortifier as a good place to be when you're trying to be white-red or white-blue, but Oakheart Dryads has been really impressive for me, especially when you can have some ways to make, removal enchantment. So I've really liked it in green-black decks where you get a lot of cast into darknesses. And so not only can you invalidate their creature, but you get a pump out of it. And it's the best benefit of Constellation in the common runs, at least for my testing so far.
Yeah, I think that card's really good, actually.
Yeah. But I really do like Grim Guardian because if you get all the Grim Guardians, it works very much like Oakheart Dryads, except for the fact that you're just dealing them damage. So if you ever have 2 on the board, you get to play a really control game, especially if you want to show them the book in your white-black
Scholar
strategies.
of Athreos, yeah.
Yeah, that's another joke that we started using is just showing him the book. I mean, he's a prideful man. He likes to show people what he's invested in.
Yep. He likes to gain 1 life and they lose 1.
Show, show off his scholastic aptitude.
Yes,
Yeah.
it is a painful book to read, though.
Yeah.
It's
So
it was written by
officially,
me.
BBD, you're taking
Seder Hoplite.
Seder Hoplite.
Yep.
Officially, Brad, you're taking
Oakheart Dryads.
Oakheart Dryads
Yep.
over Seder Hoplite. Okay.
Over all the other cards because I would never first pick a Seder Hoplite.
He's
I,
just,
No.
I actually,
Can I
I'm
just say scoreboard? Like scoreboard.
Yeah.
You want to scoreboard me?
Mm-hmm.
Well, guess what? We're both going to a limited tournament this weekend. Should we
Ooh.
have a last longer bet?
I like it.
Uh-oh.
Yeah. Whoever does worse has to shave their head. I mean, no, that would be bad for
I
me.
like that. That's a good one, yeah. Whoever does worse has to play Jund Monsters at the next standard event.
Oh, God. That's a win-win for you, too.
Yes, it is.
We're going to have to figure out the details of this at a later date. But for my part, I think I actually would first pick the Seder Hoplite out of this pack.
That is
I'm
absurd.
more. I am not as extreme as BBD in this regard, but I do like me some white-red aggro. So
All right.
that's probably my pick here. So maybe I'm the tiebreaker here. I don't know, Brad.
No, I say we let
I think we
the
should.
voice of reason, you guys be the deciding factor here because first picking Seder Hoplite is baffling. So you guys at home defend. You don't even have to defend my pick. Just don't defend his.
Of course, yeah. Talk back to us. Let us know what you guys would pick out of this pack. The Star City Games Open Series comes to New Jersey this weekend. Be there if you can, but if you can't, Patrick Sullivan, Matthias Hunt, and myself will be bringing you all the action on SCG Live. As for us, though, we're all curved out. For Brad and BBD, thanks for watching.